from Smith Gymnasium, the Fort Myer, Henderson Hall, Joint Military Base in Arlington, Virginia. This is the Boxing Along the Beltway Post-Fight Wrap-Up Show. The Boxing Along the Beltway Post-Fight Wrap-Up Show is brought to you in part by UndisputedBrand.com. Visit UndisputedBrand.com for the finest in boxing and mixed martial arts apparel. Undisputed Brand, the brand true champions wear. And by JM Photography at jmphotography.yahoo.com. Your home is your studio with JM Photography at yahoo.com. And JM Photography also brings you ProAmFightTalk.blogspot.com that brings you this Boxing Along the Beltway Post-Fight Wrap-Up Show. Hi again, everyone. Gary Digital Williams alongside the Fight Dr. Jerome just wrapping up hard here from Smith Gymnasium, Henderson Hall, Fort Myer, Joint Military Base, and Jerome. Another strong performance from a big crowd inside White Lightning Wilson.
Well, yes, he definitely had a big crowd here tonight. They weren't disappointed as Todd White Lightning Wilson delivered a very steady performance throughout the 6 rounds to get a decisive and clear unanimous decision.
Now, his opponent tonight, John Willoughby out of Selma, Alabama. This is a guy who had been fighting very frequently. In fact, he just fought 8 days ago, and he fought a lot of guys who were undefeated or very close to undefeated. So the fact that this crowd went to 6 rounds should not be a surprise to anybody.
No, not at all. I mean, sometimes when you're dealing with one of those guys that, one of those journeymen that in and out of fights all the time, they can bring a lot of experience into the ring and get in trouble from time to time and not go away easily. And so that was the case tonight. He was a game opponent, but obviously in this instance, Wilson had more than what he could be able to handle, and the decision went directly to the gone.
And even so, Wilson did have some adversity to deal with because he got cut along the right side from a headbutt, an unintentional headbutt from Willoughby, and it didn't bother him at all. It seemed the cut was done very well by the Wilson corner.
In fact, yes, excellent work done by the corner to control that cut throughout the fight. And before the fight was over, I think there was a cut under Willoughby's eye as well, so a little blood on both sides of the ring before the fight was over.
Ty Wilson went on to win all 3 cards by a 60-54 score. He's now 14-0, 4 KOs, and John Willoughby falls to 3-13. Also on the card tonight, I tell you, a hard luck fighter in this building is Juan the Savior Rodriguez. This is some young man who really did have a tough loss last time here back in December here at the Smith Gymnasium against Richie Andrews. Tonight, probably even a tougher loss against Christian Steele out of Stanton, Virginia, by way of Philadelphia, because at this point, Steele won a 4-round majority decision.
You know, it was a close fight. You could talk to 10 people and maybe get 5 going one way and 5 going the other. But hey, in those kind of close fights, somebody's going to win unless they call it a draw. In this case, close edge went to Steele, and I was leaning in this direction myself. But like I said, I wouldn't complain if it went the other way. It was a tough, close fight.
I think he may have won this fight in the 4th round. He landed 3 straight shots in the latter stages of the 4th round and may have put it over the edge for him on 2 of these scorecards. 2 scorecards had it 39-37, goes 1 had it a draw 38-38, but a real good win for Christian Steele against a guy who really got off to a good start, but now it's fumbling a little bit in Juan Rodriguez.
No doubt about it. This is the type of fight you always hear about folks saying you want to do it again. This one would be very interesting to see if they did it again.
Christian Steele evens his record at 3-3. Juan Rodriguez falls now to 4-2-1. All 4 of his wins by knockout. Also tonight we had a heavyweight bout that I tell you was very strange from the get-go. First of all, Dwayne Mobley out of Upper Marlboro, Maryland, almost was not on this card at all because he had a number of fights changed on him, 3 of them to be exact. And when they finally settled on Kevin Johnson out of Baltimore, they settled on that bout about 24 hours ago, in all honesty. And Kevin Johnson comes into the ring and in one of the weirdest sort of clashes, lands a stunning blow in the 1st round that drops Mobley to the canvas.
We've seen Johnson in a number of his fights in the past, and you know, one thing he used to always bring was that big right hand, and he brought it with him tonight, at least in the 1st round he did, and he wasn't able to sustain it throughout the fight. But he certainly caused some commotion and some excitement early in the fight, and then Mobley began to dominate, moving on to get that authoritative finish in the end.
And to say Johnson couldn't sustain it in the rest of the bout is an understatement. Quite frankly, he got gassed. And by the 3rd round, Kevin Johnson had absolutely nothing left, and Dwayne Mobley took advantage of that, and Mobley went on to win a TKO in the 3rd round, 136 of the round, where the bout was stopped. And fortunate situation, all honest, with Dwayne Mobley, because again, this is a guy who's been trying to find fights and just didn't get it done tonight.
No doubt about it, and you wanna not let those kind of things get in the way and kind of disturb you, because you know once the bell rings and you're in there against the third or fourth guy that's put in front of you, the other guy's still coming to fight. So you got to stay focused.
No question about it. Wayne Mobley now 3-0, 2 KOs. Kevin Johnson falls to 3-5. Now, young man made a pro debut tonight. We're going to bring him in just a second. He can come on over. His name is Emmanuel Lean, and he's out of Richmond, Virginia, a little out of Beltway territory. But I tell you, he's almost like family to us because he's been a part of us for quite some time. He has fought throughout. He and his brother Moshe have fought in the Beltway region at the Junior Golden Gloves, and having made the pro debut, he made it successfully. 204 the first round, a knockout over Justin Noriega. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
What did you ask to all these guys, and again, you're 18 years old, like a number of our Beltway boxers who are turning pro. What did you get in turning pro that you didn't expect once you made the move from amateur to pro? I said, what didn't you expect when you turned pro from amateur? Was there anything that surprised you here tonight?
Really, this is all I expected. I've been looking for this like 6 months. We're training hard, really. There's a guy in there, everything was fell in place.
What question about it? What question? Fight that one.
Well, you know, you're making your pro debut. It's the transition from the amateurs into the pros. For some guys, they make it seem like a big step, another level. You seem to make the transition quite smoothly. Have you been looking forward to this for a long time? You look like it's nice. How'd you feel overall going to the ring tonight?
I felt perfect. Like, I've been training very hard. I was like overweight last week. I was looking down each day. I didn't rush it. Got right on weight, perfect, right on time. Muscles came down real smooth and easy. Sore the day before, and it came right on time. It was all in training. Everything was perfect. Because everybody said I had like a pro style before, so like that's why I belong.
And of course, you and your brother Moshe looking to turn pro as well. Talk about that. Talk about the two of y'all working together with your father in the corner. Real family effort.
Yeah, I think it's all about chemistry. We don't have the chemistry. Me and my brother, we fight differently. We have the same mindset. We're winning. I was supposed to be aggressive. I can box at the same time. Like, we balance our weaknesses. Whatever weakness he has, I'm there to cover it. And need somebody who's coming, you can't go fight nobody who's a comer. That's what I do. So we balance each other. And anybody gonna box me because that's what he do.
Right, fantastic. Emmanuel Lean, thank you very much. Best wishes for these.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Making his pro debut, a good one tonight against Justin Noriega. Emmanuel Lean now 1-0 with 1 KO to his credit. And also on the card tonight, we have Fernando Alvarez, who lost a first-round TKO to Mark Baltimore. And I tell you, that was a strange and interesting bout between those two guys, Mark Baltimore and Fernando Alvarez.
Those two guys got off to a fast pace. Haymakers and bombs right from the jump. And a heck of a way to kick off a pro debut in that type of fight, particularly when you can get a spectacular knockout victory like that.
No question about it. Mark Baltimore now 1-0. Fernando Alvarez is 1-1. And that is the bout. That was the call. We had the exhibition tonight between Brandon Quarles and Paul Jackson. A great way to kick off the bout. And I think it was just a good one as well. We're going to bring in the promoter here from the RBA promotion. This is Dr. Richard Ashley, who many in the boxing world are getting to know not only because of his work as a promoter here in Virginia, not only because of his work as a doctor in D.C., but many may know that he is also the manager of the former cruiserweight champion in the world, O'Neal Bell. And Supernova lives in the area now, so we look forward to having him on some of these cards as well. But Dr. Ashby, a second card for you here at Smith Gymnasium, another successful card for you.
Thank you.
Your thoughts as you go into what is your game plan as you're trying to promote cards here in Northern Virginia?
I like to get more fans out. As you can see, I put on some nice shows. Folks enjoy the boxing that occurs here, and we have some upsets. You don't get that much with many of the shows around here right now at the club level. And I like to put on shows that the fans would like to enjoy seeing. Not so much just to give a boxer a good record, but show what the boxer can do.
Well, the first time we were out here back in December, we did have one of those upsets, and that was Jose Felix knocking out Tony Jeter, and that was a big card that put hurt a lot of people's ears up after that card was over.
Absolutely.
No question about it.
And we had a guy that really working with, Juan Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Again, he got upset, but this was the decision this time. Last time, it was rough going for him. He's a promising young junior welterweight, and I hope he's able to pull it together and come back and secure a good win.
You've got a great chemistry going, a great formula, it seems, in terms of your location and the types of spice that you're putting on here. You're going to end up outgrowing this building at some point if you keep growing at the rate you're growing. Would that be a successful problem for you to have in the future?
I would love to have it. I thought I was going to have a sellout this time, but because of some matchup problems, the numbers just didn't come in like I hoped. And hopefully I have enough time with the next fight to make sure that it is a sellout.
And when is your next card scheduled?
I don't have a date yet. I'm looking at September.
Okay, good enough. We'll definitely keep you posted here on Box Hill on the Beltway or at FightTalk.com. We'll definitely keep our fans posted on when your next card will be. Dr. Richard Ashby, congratulations and best wishes.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Dr. Richard Ashby joining us as well. Now, we can move on real quick to a couple other cards actually earlier tonight. Here in the Seminole Hard Rock Casino in Hollywood, Florida, Thomas K.O. Snow out of Capitol Heights, Maryland, made his first appearance under the Don King banner. He did it as a super flyweight, which again, you remember Jerome back in a couple years ago, there was talk about Terrell Samuel out of Baltimore taking on Thomas K.O. Snow at featherweight. And now we're talking 115 pounds. Matter of fact, he weighed in tonight at 112 and a half pounds tonight. So we're almost talking Mark Johnson's flyweight level here. But yet he pulled off a knockout over Ernie Marquez tonight. Now BoxRec had it a 4th round knockout. Looked on Fight News earlier tonight. They have it as a 3rd round knockout. So we're trying to figure that out right now. But the fact of the matter is, it was a knockout. It didn't go the distance. And again, a good performance for now a guy who is calling himself the franchise, Thomas the Franchise Snow. So we'll see what happens. But your thought on losing all that weight over the last couple of years, but Snow says this is the way he wants to be.
Yeah, I think we saw him at the convention center not too long ago, and he was talking about getting himself in position to be able to do just what he did tonight. So it just goes to show you, if you get determined and focused on an objective, you can achieve it if you put your mind to it.
No question about it. So Thomas K.O. Snow now 15-1. We'll take 10 KOs to his credit. Now we're moving into July, and July is going to be a big month coming up here along the Beltway and outside Beltway as well. First of all, we got to talk about July the 7th. Saturday, July the 7th, Vladimir Klitschko defends his title in a rematch against our very own Tony the Tiger Thompson.
I think we saw Tony at that same convention card, and he talked about how he's focused, he's determined. You know, you can talk about what happened in the first fight and some of the things, adversities and things that he was going through. And he didn't want to focus on those things. You go in the ring at that opportunity when it presents itself and do the best you can. But this time he says he's 100%. And he's saying that's going to yield a different outcome. So we're all looking forward to seeing what kind of mix-up we get out there this time around.
We hope to talk to him this week. He's got a workout coming out before he leaves for Switzerland. So I hope we get a chance to talk to him again sometime in the very near future. Then on Saturday, July 14th, and this will be in London, England. Thompson fights in Bern, Switzerland. London, England. The former 2-time world champion, Hasim Rahman, he is indeed the #1 contender to Alexander Povetkin's WBA title. He'll challenge for that title on Saturday, July 14th in London, England.
It's a big opportunity for Rahman after a bit of a hiatus, if you will, in terms of getting some fluent and consistent work in the ring. So we'll have to see what he brings to the dance. It's a tremendous opportunity for him to, as they say, shock the world one more time. So we'll see what happens.
No question about it. Let me get, before we continue, let's bring this young man in. We can get through here. He just joined us here. We'll continue to talk about what's going on in the future. But we got to talk to the man who won our main event tonight. And that is indeed Todd White Lightning Wilson, undefeated. Once again, continuing his record, his winning ways. Now 14-0, 4 KOs. And you're in a situation, Todd, first of all, congratulations. You're in a situation where, again, you had a guy fall out at the last minute. You had to change the game plan. How tough was that to do tonight?
It's always tough, but honestly, as you guys know better than anybody, it's part of the game, especially at this level. It happens against, you got the top level guys falling out and stuff. So, it happens. I fight, and that's what I do. And whoever they put in front of me, that's who I'll fight. A lot of people aren't necessarily happy with this guy, but I'll tell you, he's a tough dude, and you guys can see he can fight. you can't tell by the records. That guy, I think his all of his opponents' records, the combined opponents' records, is like with me now is like 85-2.
Exactly.
So he's a tough dude, and I give it up to him. I mean, he had a hard time. I think I broke my hand in the second round, but it started to hurt pretty bad in the second, and then instinct, you keep throwing it, and so it just kept getting hurt more and more. But you know, he's a tough guy. I give it up to him. I tip my hat to him, and I hope I put on a good show. I hope the fans enjoyed it, and it was a great opportunity for me to get the main event. And I look forward to staying busy and getting bigger and better fights.
So you may have broken your hand in the second round. You then become the recipient of a nasty headbutt in the third round and causes a cut. How do you fight through that adversity?
You know, I think it's one of those things where you don't necessarily learn how to do it. You either got it or you don't. And I've been a smaller guy, the guy that's not big enough, fast enough to do any sport my whole life. And you know, when you get knocked down or you get hit hard, you got to keep coming back. You got to roar back, and that's what I've always been taught to do my whole life. And that's just what I decided to do in the fight tonight.
Well, your corner did a tremendous job with that fight to make sure it didn't become more of a problem. And at that point, you focused very well on a kind of an awkward guy that was pressing and staying in there. And now to hear that you had a damaged right hand on top of that, folks got to realize there's a lot of adversity that happened in square jumping. But you seem to conquer it all tonight.
And to be honest with you, you know, you can never take those guys lightly. One of my toughest fights was against a guy that was 1-8, and I took him a little too lightly. And you know, he taught me a real good lesson when I fought him. It was like my third or fourth fight, and you know, I vowed from that point on, I'm never going to take anybody lightly, because boxing's the only sport you can be down 100-0 in the ninth inning and score a home run and win the fight. So.
No question about it. So, Ty, once you get that hand looked at, what is the schedule?
As long, I mean, we're gonna get back as soon as possible. I mean, you know, it's swelling pretty bad right now, so we'll have to probably go get X-rays tomorrow and see how it is. But again, you know, I've broken it before. It happens. You know, it's part of the game. So it is what it is. We'll assess the situation tomorrow, and I want to stay as busy as possible. I'm getting married in October, so I want to get at least one more fight, and I can't fight too close because she doesn't want that.
Ty White Lightning Wilson, congratulations. Winning undefeated here.
I really appreciate it.
No problem. Best wishes to the upcoming nuptials.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that's Ty White Lightning Wilson. And as we close out again, we got to talk about what's going on inside on inside on July 14th. That's at the Washington Convention Center, another Keystone boxing situation. And they're going to be busy all throughout the rest of the year. We're talking 5 straight cards between now and December, from July to December. We're going to continue. July 14th, when we talked about again, Dusty Harrison on the card. No matchups yet, by the way. No matchups official yet. But Dusty Harrison's on the card as headliner. Thomas Top Dog Williams Jr., Josh Bouchard, Ivan Ziegler, Brady Magician Sensabaugh, Elias Boulibasis, the Golden Greek, as well as Harold Parker, Kevin Borders making his pro debut, and as well as Ivan Ziegler as well. So another star-studded crowd. It looks like we're looking at a couple of promotions here, Jerome, who are trying to focus on the young talent and give them an opportunity to show their wares very early in their career.
And it's an opportunity for the fans to kind of take grip of these guys as they're starting on the wave and begin to watch it swell and ride it all the way in. This is an exciting and optimistic opportunity to catch these guys at this stage in their career and watch them see them develop.
And if this is any indication, we had a lot of boxers tonight. We had nice, strong fan base. Talk about Todd Wilson, his fan base. Emmanuel Lim had a strong one tonight. Juan Rodriguez had a strong one tonight, as did Mark Baltimore, pro debut. So this is what's happening now in the Beltway. So look out for it, and we'll continue to keep you updated. Got a lot of shows coming up in August 4th. We haven't really talked about it yet. We will in the very near future. Just a show Baby Bill Productions putting together at the the Ramada Renaissance Hotel in Washington, D.C. That's supposed to feature Henry Sugar Boo Buchanan and the debut of Teresia Baby Girl Douglas. Her pro debut is going to be August 4th. We'll talk more about that in the weeks to come. But for now, we leave you here from the Smith Gymnasium at Fort Myer, Henderson Hall here in Arlington, Virginia. Remember, the Boxing Law on the Beltway, the post-fight wrap-up show is brought to you in part by UndisputedBrand.com. Visit UndisputedBrand.com for the finest in boxing and mixed martial arts apparel. Undisputed Brand, the brand true champions wear. And by JM Photography at jmphotography26 at yahoo.com. Your home is your studio with JM Photography, the home of ProAmFightTalk.blogspot.com. And for our camera operator, Juan Marshall of ProAmFightTalk.blogspot.com. And for our Hall of Famer, the Fight Dr. Jerome Spears, I'm Gary Digital Williams saying so long from Arlington, Virginia. And always remember to keep supporting the best boxing in the world. The boxing along the Beltway. Take care.